Hello and welcome to Switched On, keeping you up to date with all things parenting. I am your host, Gabby, and today we'll talk about playwork and the importance of child-led play. First, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land where this podcast was created, the Bunurong and Wadaburong people, and pay my respects to their ancestors and elders past, present, and future. I extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their continuing connection to lands, waters, and communities. Wherever you are, know the land you're in. So, what is playwork? If you think about playstations at a kinder with resources beautifully positioned with a learning goal in mind, or at home when we see our children playing and we add our little learning moment, oh, you're stacking blocks, let's count them 1, 2, 3. Well, playwork is the opposite of that. It's an approach to working with children in which the play is child led without adults directing it and without expectations or outcomes attached is giving children the time and opportunity to decide freely what they're going to play with, how to play with it, and why, following their own interests and reasons. To learn more about playwork, visit play.wales/playwork. But how did this idea come to be? In Copenhagen, during World War II, a Danish architect called Carl Sorensen noticed that children were playing with rubble and using it to create play spaces. This inspired him to design the first adventure playground in 1940. Lady Allen of Hurtwood visited this adventure playground in 1945 and was mind blown. She took the idea to England, and Playwork and the adventure playground movement were born. To learn more about the history of playwork and its terminology, read the Playwork Primer by Penny Wilson. So, why is child-led play important? Imagine a child playing in a park by themselves. They look around and see a tree. They decide to climb it. The first time they fail. They try again until they do it. Once up the tree, they decide that's their house and there's a kitchen, that branch is a bed. They see a friend approaching who asks them if they can come up. They stop and think what to reply. In this short child-led play session, the child has developed gross motor skills, perseverance, resilience, and emotional regulation, impacting their self esteem and sense of capability. They were following their interests and were self motivated by them. Now insert an adult in the equation. Don't climb that tree, it's too high, be careful. Or let your friend come up the tree. The tree is for everyone. These interventions, though well intended, rob the children of learning opportunities. We decide and risk manage for them. We hover over them to a point in which they do things not for their own interest, but to gain our attention and praise. To learn more about the importance of play, read Professor Peter Gray's article, The Value of Play 1, The Definition of Play Give Insights. Playwork is supervised. Adventure playgrounds are always staffed with play workers. Their job is not to teach or facilitate, but to observe and document the play cycle for reflective practice. They only interfere if there's a hazard or to supply resources to enrich play. To learn more about what playworkers do, read the Playwork Principles. For more information on the play cycle, read the Colorado paper. Now think about this. How many child-led play opportunities has your child had in the last week? 5 tips for child-led play. 1. Purposely go out in nature with your child often. Nature is an invitation to play and imagination. 2. Stop yourself from interfering with play. If you see that they may have a small fall, let them. If another child is being rude to them, don't interfere. They're learning from it. If you're invited into their play, remember, they're the ones in control. 3. Decide on an area in your house that can be a playwork area. This will be your children's kingdom. Within it, allow them to start projects that don't need to be cleaned up after and give them all the freedom you can. It will be messy, it won't be Insta-worthy, but your child literally will be all the wiser for it. 4. Provide your children with loose parts, versatile everyday objects with no intrinsic use. The best example of this is a cardboard box. It can be a cubby, a car, it can be used as a hurdle in an obstacle course, it can be painted on, cut, taped to other things to create bigger structures. You get the idea. For more information on loose parts, read Simon Nicholson's Theory of Loose Parts. 5. Look out for pop-up adventure play sessions. Chances are there's a uni near you teaching their students about playwork and they will be running free sessions. This is all for today's episode. I hope we've inspired you to try new things. See you next week when we'll talk about risky play. Until then, stay switched on.